This video is very short and very raw. It's intended for anyone who's got a 2017-ish Chevy Trax and wants to replace their cat. This job turned into a nightmare for me. Hopefully it won't be for you, but I just want to give you a couple of tips on the things that I had issues with. In my case, I replaced the exhaust pipe, the flex pipe, which was basically shot, and of course the cat. When you're going to do this, make sure you get new gaskets. They say you can reuse them. Nah. Get a new collar for the cat and the turbo. There are two exhaust gaskets that you're going to need. One is triangular, and one looks like a dog ear over there. And this is the gasket that slips onto the cat right around the annular maw over there. This one you can see is difficult to see, but it's cracked. That's the old one. I also put in a new oxygen sensor. It was much easier under the car to cut this off, take the old one out. Now, what became a nightmare for me was getting the old stuff out. That's the first nightmare. And as you can see, I had to cut the cat out here. Also, the exhaust nuts and gaskets were basically fused. It was almost impossible to back them out. So I wound up having to cut that. That's this part of the exhaust pipe here. The real bad part was here. Where this connects to the rear cat, these studs and nuts were completely rotted and fused. It took me over a day just to get those two out because they're in a difficult location. I suggest an air chisel. It'll make life a lot easier than having to chop with a hammer and chisel, drill with the drill, and eventually get it out. Also, very important, on the new cat, when you get it, make sure you check with a caliper this dimension. All right, this is the original cat. The new cat was a millimeter fatter, like this, and it was impossible to fit on. I wound up having to take a Dremel and go around it until I finally got it down close, and then it fit fine. All these spelled a nightmare of an installation, from the fused rotted parts all the way up to the new cat. Now, I checked the new cat, which was a Davico. It's the right number. It's supposedly the right cat, but it did not fit. Even the hangers on here were wrong. So I don't know if I got a mislabeled one, if I got a counterfeit. I don't know. I've never had trouble at Rock Auto before, but this was a total disaster. So again, one last thing to remember is these capture bolts. These are what hold the cat in. Well, guess what? When you're struggling to get a rotted nut off of here, they come out. And one I had to cut, the other one I backed out, but because the spring has been sprung on the retainer, I couldn't get it to go back in. But it didn't matter because the brackets on the new cat didn't fit. So these are things to keep in mind. Also, I did watch one video, and there's one gentleman who's a mechanic, and he got the whole job done by himself. Well, guess what? It took three of us. One to get under the car and push the new cat up. One to pull the clamp around the cat, the new one. And the other one to catch the bolt, which I also had to get a longer size for, and catch the nut on it. So hopefully this will be an easy job for you. It was a nightmare for me. Again, inspect your job first. Take a look at the nuts and washers and the bolts. If you get a cat, whether it's local or whether you get it online, the first thing you do, put a caliper on there and double check that it's going to fit and lock in. All right, good luck.